Hello friends. So in previous lecture we discussed about the water treatment plant, okay, and what are the different units of water treatment plant. In that we discuss about the different units the intake, screen chamber, aeration, plain sedimentation, sedimentation with coagulation, coagulation flocculation, filtration, disinfection, and ESR. Okay, so the intake, it is nothing but the tank which is used for the collection of water from the source. Okay, so whatever your source, it may be river, it may be lake, okay, it may be well. So the water is going to be pumped from that source and stored permanently or temporarily. That is what the structure that is called as intake. Okay, so after that, the next one is a screen chamber. So what is the function or what is the purpose of screen chamber? So screen chamber is used to remove the larger floating solid from that water. Okay, so that what happens when that water comes in contact with coagulation, or either you can say coagulant or disinfectant or chemicals. Okay, so that floating matters obstruct the treatment method. Okay, so that it is need to remove that floating solid, larger floating solid, before transfer of that water to the next treatment. It may be aeration, it may be sedimentation, coagulation, either it may be disinfection or other may be filtration process. Okay, so this floating solid that obstruct the other treatment methods may be filtration, disinfection, and coagulation. So that it is need to remove that floating solid before the water entered into the next treatment method. Okay. So that the screen chamber, it is the first unit where we remove the larger floating solid. Okay. So basically this screen chamber are the two types. And the firstly you can say the manual operated screen chamber, and the second one is mechanical operated screen chamber. Okay. So where it is mechanically clean and mechanically operated, and where it is manual, it is manually operated, that is, it requires regular cleaning. So that process is called as the manual operated screen chamber. Okay, that is the manual operated screen chamber. After that, whatever that screen or screening which collected at the screen chamber, that screening material you can dispose by the line filling method. You can dispose over the land, or either you can use a deep burial method for the disposal of that screening. Okay. So screening, it is whatever that solid which collected over the screen. It may be plastic, it may be some metals, it may be other organic matter, or it may be some plant residue and other waste. Okay. So this waste that going to be disposed by various methods. After that, the next one is aeration. So aeration, basic the purpose of aeration to increase the oxygen content into that water and remove the bad odor gases like CO2 and H2S. So that is what the basic purpose and the principle of aeration. That is what the gas transfer. So gas transfer, it is the principle of aeration where the water is come in contact with atmosphere air, so that atmospheric oxygen is going to be dissolved into that water, and whatever the bad odor or gases which present into that water, that remove into the atmosphere. Okay, so that is what the aeration. It may be step aeration, or it may be cascade aeration, or it may be diffuse aeration. These are different methods of aeration. So you can use any one method. Basically, if you visit any water treatment plant, you can see the cascade aeration where 3 to 4 steps having 1 meter of height. Okay, so when water is allowed to freely fall over that steps, so that having a maximum surface area come in contact with air, and they increase the oxygen content and release bad odor. Okay, so this aeration having some of the advantage. The first advantage, it increase oxygen. Second, it release or it reduced the bad gases like CO2, H2S. Again, it kills some of the bacteria and also is oxidized iron and magnesium. So these are the various advantages of the aeration process. Okay. Come to the next, the plain sedimentation. So plain sedimentation, it is nothing but simply the tank where water allowed to settle, or okay, water, we reduce the velocity of water and we keep as a settlement for some detention period. So detention period, it is nothing but the period which required for the settlement of that particles or sediment. So it may be 4 hours, it may be 6 hours, or it may be 8 hours. Okay. So that the process is called as plane sedimentation, where water is allowed to settle into that tank, and for that particular period, detention period, that water, sediment, they are going to settle down at the bottom of that tank. Okay. So that is the plane sedimentation. So whatever that sludge and sediment which deposited at the bottom of the tank, you can remove from the outlet of that tank. Okay. So that plane sedimentation also having various advantages. So what are the advantages of plane sedimentation? Firstly, it reduced the cost of the treatment. Secondly, it reduced the load on the next treatment units. It reduced solid up to 60%. It reduced some bacteria also, and it reduced some BOD also. Also, it gives a good quality of water at the end after the plane sedimentation, and whatever that amount of coagulant which is required for the sedimentation with coagulation process, that coagulation cost and chemical quantity of chemical, that also going to be reduced due to the plane sedimentation. Because why? Because here we are going to remove up to 60% of solid. So these are the various advantages of plane sedimentation. After that, we discuss about the sedimentation with coagulation, where we are going to add a coagulant. So coagulant, it is nothing but the particle, or not a particle, coagulant. It is nothing but a chemical which is used for the coagulation process. So where we are going to add chemical into that water as a coagulant, and due to that, whatever that colloidal particles or suspended particles, impurities which comes to closer and they create a larger sizable settleable flock, and that process is called as, okay, flocculation. So sedimentation coagulation, it is a process where we're going to add a chemical, it may be alum or it may be lime. Okay. So next is coagulation and flocculation. So that process which include the formation of flock after addition of coagulant. Okay. So after the mixing of alum or a lime, you can say, we are going to mix that alum or lime completely by using clariflocculator. So it is a mixer or mixing devices which is used for the formation of flock and completely mix the coagulant into that water. Okay, so that process is called as clarification, and that process is called as clarification and flocculation. So flocculation, it is nothing but the formation of flock. Okay, so when the particles comes to closer and they create a sizable flock, that process is called as flocculation. So that is what the coagulation and flocculation after the addition of chemical which create a flock, that process called as flocculation. Again, we also discuss about the jar test. So jar test, it is apparatus which is used to find out the optimum dose of coagulant. So from that you can identify which dose of the coagulant, the dose of coagulant which gives the best flow, and that correct dose of the coagulant, you can say the optimum dose of coagulant. Okay, so that from that you can find out the optimum dose of coagulant, and you can minimize the wastage of chemical in that process, coagulation process. So after that, the next treatment method, that is filtration and the disinfection. So you can see this is the water treatment plant units. So the first one is a lake, then that is water intake source. After that, the next one is a protective bar screen, so which is for the removal of floating solid. And after that, sometimes pre-chlorination. So pre-chlorination, that is for a removal of the bacteria. Okay. So basically, either you can use pre-chlorination, and after that you can also use post-chlorination. Okay. So pre-chlorination, it is for the removal of the bacteria or killing of the bacteria. So you can use both, that is post-chlorination as well as pre-chlorination. Okay, but mostly we prefer the post-chlorination after the completely treatment of water. Okay, so pre-chlorination for the killing of bacteria. After that, the chemical coagulant, we are going to add chemical alum and lime, and clariflocculator, which is used for the mixing of chemical that is called as coagulation and flocculation, and after that you can see the sedimentation basin. So that sedimentation basin which is used for the settlement of floc, whatever floc which created after the coagulation flocculation, that floc going to be settled down in a sedimentation basin. Okay, and from the bottom of tank you can remove that flock, and that clear water you can save to the filtration. Okay, so now we need to discuss about the filtration. So filtration, it is nothing but the process after the sedimentation and after the process of coagulation. Okay, so which is allow the water freely fall over that sand. Okay, so water is allowed to pass through the bed of that granular material. That process is called as a filtration. Okay, so these particles, whatever the fine particles which present into that water, or that going to be removed here in filtration process. Okay, so this filtration which remove the impurities from the water, odor, as well as color, as well as turbidity, as well as pathogenic bacteria. So these all going to be removed in the process of filtration. Okay. So what is the definition of filtration? Just water is allowed to pass through the beds of granular material. That process is called as filtration. Okay. So whatever that particulate matter, particles, BOD, or either you can say turbidity, which remains present after coagulation population, so this all going to be removed at the end of the filtration. Okay. So the process, so the filtration is the most important stage in the process of purification of water. Okay. So that is what is the mechanism. The water is allowed to pass through a thick layer of sand and to remove the remaining impurities and make that water is whatever. Okay, that is safe for the drinking purpose. So what are the advantages? What are the advantage of this filtration? Okay, the first one is it removes the suspended and colloidal impurities from the water. The chemical characteristics of water gets changed. The proportion of bacteria in water is reduced. And these are the various advantage of that filtration process. Okay, so the mechanism of filtration, or the action of filtration process is having 3 to 4 steps. The mechanical staining, okay, where the suspended particles cannot pass through the bed of the sand. Next, sedimentation, where the voids are present, that particle, suspended particle going to be settled down as a sedimentation process. And the biological metabolism, where the oxidation takes place. Okay, so that actually process happen into the filter. Okay. So you can see the filter. So that is what the first anthracite filter, then sand filter, and then gravel filter. Okay. So basically here the two filter medias. The first one is the anthracite and the sand. So anthracite, you can say it is nothing but the charcoal, or either you can say activated carbon. Okay. After that, the next layer is the sand. After that, the next layer is gravel, and the next layer is drainage system, which is used for the collection of the filter water. So basically the filters are the two types. Okay, uh, the slow sand filters and rapid sand filters. These are the two filters of the group of the gravity filters. And the next filter, it is what the pressure filter. Okay, so as the slow sand filter, as name indicate. Okay, so to improve the biological, chemical, and physical characteristics of water, it allows to pass that water slowly through the layer of sand, which is placed above the basic material, that is, which is above the gravel. That means sand is the filter medium. Okay, so water is allowed to flow over that sand. Okay, and gravel is the supporting medium. Okay, so that process, which is called a slow sand filter. Why it is slow sand filter? Because whatever the rate of filtration for that water is slow, so that that filter is called as slow sand filter. Okay, so opposite the second type, it is what the rapid sand filter, where the rate of the filtration of that filter is highly or high. In that case, you can see that what rapid sand filter. Okay, but the composition of both the filter are same. It contains drainage system. After that, it contains gravel. After that, it contains sand. Okay, but cleaning of both the filter is a different. Okay, cleaning of the slow sand filter is a different, and cleaning of the rapid sand filter is a different. Okay, so in the previous lecture, we discussed about the various difference between these two. What is the basic difference between slow sand filter and rapid sand filter? So the slow sand filter, it is having the rate of the filtration is less, and it is how much, 100 to 200 liter per hour per meter square area, and whereas the rapid sand filter having the rate of filtration is 3000 to 6000 liter per hour per meter square area. The slow sand filters need large area, rapid sand filter needs small area. Slow sand filter used in rural areas, rapid sand filter used in urban areas. Slow sand filter having a simple operation, where the rapid sand filter having a complicated operation. Slow sand filter AC maintenance, rapid sand filter is maintenance cost is too much high. Slow sand filter remove up to 99% of bacterial load, and rapid sand filter remove up to 80 to 90% of bacterial load. If you consider turbidity, slow sand filter can remove the turbidity up to 50% or 50 ppm, that is 50 mg per liter. And if you consider the rapid sand filter, it removes the turbidity up to 35 to 40 ppm. Okay, so there are also various points that you can, from that you can also classify the slow sand filter and rapid sand filter. So various other points also we have to discuss in the next topic.